Hello everybody, this is Retro Beard again, and this is the next part in my retro rambling series where I just talk about everything and anything, usually about gaming and especially retro gaming, and just catch up and share with you the latest news, and more importantly, how have you all been? I hope you've all been well and okay, happy and faring well through these hard times, these troubling times, because it's been a tough year for all of us, hasn't it? And it's times like this where our games and our hobbies are especially important to keeping our spirits and morale up, because that's one of the good advantages for people with our hobbies. Most of them are indoors based, and this has been the the first year in almost 100 years, to my knowledge, where everybody's had to stay in so much and do so much more indoors and be restricted. And that's where having a huge collection of games and consoles and all that, and comics and all the other things people enjoy, it really pays off. I mean, I for one have not got an excuse to be bored ever. So hopefully it's the same for all of you. To anybody who has not seen this series of videos, I do them every Saturday. They're unscripted, and I just sort of discuss things. It's called Retro Beard's Ramblings because I ramble on. I'm pretty random and I go off of my usual tangents, and that's how it's supposed to be. So yeah, and I always make the offer for you, the viewers, to ask me any questions, anything you want. You can ask me anything and I'll do my best to answer it. Give me any feedback, as long as it's constructive and that's cool. It can be negative or positive. I've got a thick skin. I'll do anything. Yeah. This week in gaming news, I mean, well, gaming news that's relevant to my interest. There's not been a lot really. I mean, on a personal level, this week my YouTube channel crossed the 300 subscriber barrier, which is amazing. I began with, like everybody, with 0, and now I'm well over 300. So thank you everybody who subscribed and supported me, and everybody who's been viewing my videos and commenting. It's all appreciated. It's all helping build this channel up, and I do genuinely appreciate it. Thank you, because when we start out on doing this, we never know how we're going to be received, do we? Because we never know how people feel about how we come across and our personalities and our style. So it's amazing. My next goal now is 500 subscribers, so hopefully that'll happen. Yeah, and some more news. This week I properly set up my Twitch channel. That's it's called The Real Retro Beard, if anybody wants to come and check that out. I've got no actual content on there yet, but I've built the actual page up. So that's going to be my next frontier, Twitch. Try streaming, see if that works. I want the whole Retro Beard thing out there on all the platforms. I mean, I'm on, for anybody who's got a preferred social media, I put content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, obviously YouTube, and now Twitch. So whatever is your platform of preference, you can find me, and I suppose that's my plan. My stream, when I do start streaming, it may not be limited to just Twitch. I may even do it on YouTube as well. I'm going to see. I'm just putting my toes in the water and trying new things and learning new things and seeing how I'm received and what works for me, because it's different horses for different courses, isn't it? As I say. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's see what else we've got. Oh yeah, it's not really gaming news as such, but it's a part of the rambling. There's a console I've been watching for a long time now, possibly a few years, with interest. It began, I'm sure some of you have heard of it, it began life known as something like the Retro Blocks. And the idea was, it was a modular CD gaming console that was supposed to be able to play the discs from any games console of the past, the retro consoles that had disc media, like the PlayStation 1, the Saturn, what else is there? I believe the PC Engine systems that had discs, which I'm not that familiar with, we never had that really commonly over here in the UK. I don't think it had a massive presence in the US either. Oh, what else was there? There's a few others. And the idea was it would eventually be like an all-in-one. And over the years, the platform has evolved, and then they changed the name to Polymega, and it has modules that you can buy that allow it to run console games as well, like the Mega Drive, Genesis, the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and so on. Sega 32X, I believe, and originally it was meant to be FGP, it's called. The sort of emulation. It's hardware emulation rather than software emulation. So it runs pretty much like a real system rather than strictly copying it through software. But then they decided to abandon that route, which I don't know why. But I suspect cost and practicality. Now it emulates through software, and they've done, from what I can see, so I've got no first-hand knowledge of it, a lot of work in making the emulation some of the best in terms of low latency and performance, and an accurate sound and graphical representation of the games. So it still looks like a fairly premium product now. And now I think it's about to be released, this product, and it's looking like it's, well, I think it looks really good. My only concerns, and I'm not alone in this, I know some people don't like hearing this, but why should we be afraid to air our opinions? Because not every opinion's got to be strong. It can just sort of be an opinion that's subject to change, because nothing I ever say or believe in is set in stone. Everything I believe in can change, because life isn't static, so nor should our opinions be. But anyway, the price of it looks a bit much for what it is. Now, I appreciate the developer can't compete with cost with people like Microsoft or Sony, who can bang out millions of units and sign deals. I realise it's a lot harder for small companies, relatively small companies, because they're buying thousands of units, not millions of units. I get that, I know that's how it works, but last time I seen the cost, it looks like it's going to be about £450. And I mean, yes, the system looks marvellous so far. I mean, the fact it runs Sega Saturn well, that's amazing, that's a dream. And I mean, and the PlayStation 1, to my knowledge, it doesn't run PlayStation 2. And some people who I've tried to talk to online with say it will be able to, and some don't know. My concern is, although I'm not an expert in emulation by any stretch of the imagination, the system, Polymega, appears to have 2 GB of RAM and a sort of custom low power Intel chipset in it. So the processing power of it it looks, I don't know, I mean, I would guess about the same as an Xbox One or something. Maybe, I don't know if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, someone correct me and tell me, no, it's much powerful, or no, it's weaker, or whatever. But to my knowledge, last time I looked, PlayStation 2 emulation requires a pretty beefy PC to do it in style. I mean, if that's changed, great. I mean, I don't know how mobile phones emulate PlayStation 2. Last time I looked, it was impossible. Maybe they can now, but I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, if it can suddenly emulate PlayStation 2 and run the discs, that increases its value for the cost. Because for me to pay £450 for a base, and bear in mind the base unit can't run the cartridges, it can only run the CDs, the discs, like DVDs and CDs. For me to pay £450 and feel that's money well spent, I really need it to run PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Sega Saturn, Panasonic 3DO, because that had a library of fairly unique titles. Probably original Xbox has been unreasonable, but I mean, if they somehow got it singing to that tune, it would sell like hotcakes. But you got to be realistic in your expectations. Gamecube, maybe, because I've seen Gamecube games run on an NVIDIA Shield on that Dolphin emulator, so perhaps Gamecube isn't out of the realm possibility. Dreamcast. I'm trying to think what other disc media there were in the low power days. I think it runs Mega CD games, or Sega CD as the Americans know it as. Now that's quite good. Perhaps Philips CDI would be nice as an afterthought. That's not necessarily a selling point. That's just an icing on the cake point. And things like the Amiga CD32, them sort of things, I suppose they're nice as a fun afterthought, but they're not sellers. But the point is, the more CD and DVD platforms it can run, the more that initial value of £450, give or take, suddenly becomes compelling, because what you're doing is you're knocking off your shelf more and more consoles and saying, oh, I'll put them into storage. In my entertainment centre in my living room, I've got just this one box sitting here. Now the consoles it's running, it's a really good start, and no doubt they'll put more on, because a lot of the cartridge consoles are low power, relatively low power to run them. But it looks like they're about £60–70 an adapter to run each cartridge. So it means, based upon my approximate prices, you buy the console, $450, give or take. You buy an adapter for each cartridge you want, 60–70 a pop. If they start really bringing out lots of different ones, you could end up spending about £800 on it. Now, suddenly, it's a rich man's device. It's not an every man's device. So, hopefully, with subsequent models and new additions and all that, and as the device gains more popularity, if it does, these prices will drop. Because, I mean, my sort of all-in-one device right now is a system which I am going to do a dedicated video on in the future, called the Retro Freak. And I've looked on YouTube, but there are quite a few videos, but I think I can add something else to it, because you seem to have the lovers who blindly love it, and then a lot of the people hate it, and then there's a few videos in the middle, but they all bring different things to the table. Well, I'd like to bring my own opinion, because I've had my Retro Freak for a couple of years now. I've played it, enjoyed it, I've had a few problems with it, so I'd like my say, but I will do a dedicated video because it deserves it. Nothing fancy, just me talking, showing it, playing it a bit. That's my all-in-one right now. But that wasn't, and that was a little bit expensive. But I'll go into that. Anyway, that's enough of that topic for now. I'm going to show my this week's purchases and finds and all that. You know, I always have a few items every week that I try and dig out. Put my tablet down. Okay, I've got a few more 3DS titles for starters for my little 3DS collection. I've got Super Pokemon Rumble. I know this game isn't the most popular 3DS game in the world. It's a bit divisive, but I got it for a couple of quid, including delivery. It's complete, good condition, cheap. It's a fun little game for on the go. It hasn't got to be the best game in the world, and you can't beat a little bit of Pokemon, even for a big kid like me, you know. So yeah, that is what it is. Next is a game that quite a lot of people like, Pilotwings Resort. Is this one, once again, complete, good condition, once again a couple of quid. I'm a bargain hunter, and you know, okay, I'll have a load of fun on this. And Rabbids 3D, not a bad little sort of game, you know. It's not the best, but complete, good condition for the price, for what it is. I'll have some fun on this, and once again a couple of £1, so you can't blame me for that, can you? And I got a new and sealed Sushi Striker. Now this is a pretty darn good game. I believe it's gone to an enhanced port on the Switch. I don't know how enhanced, but yeah, this game's loads of fun. Nobody's going to criticise me. I paid about £4 for this, including delivery. Sealed new. No wrong with that, is there? Great little game. And I got this a little while ago. I didn't get this next item. I didn't get this week. I got it a while ago. I'd like to show off some bits I haven't showed off yet. It's for a test. Basically, it's my little Wii HDMI adapter. I know these things have got mixed opinion, but I've got a Wii, and I've got component cables on it, the official Wii component cables, and I've been trying to find that best picture quality I can on my 4K Samsung curved flat screen, and And I've tried my component in 480p, I believe, and it's not bad. I wanted to see how it will be converting it to HDMI and then plugging it straight in. You see, I've got upscaling line doublers and things, but you can't really line double 480p, so there's not much you can do with it and my setup. So I'm going to try this. If not, my next strategy will be, I suppose there's no point, but yeah, so basically I've got Nintendo official component cable straight in the TV, or this, and I'm going to see which is the best in that search for the best price to picture ratio I can get without spending money. Because the one thing I don't like doing is complex. I don't want complex things like a FrameMeister or OSCC. I want to stick to the component or, you know, and retro tint type technology where you plug and play, because I don't want to be tweaking. I like to put the game in and play it and it to look as good as it can within a price and time investment, because I don't have the time to be a hobbyist tweaking. But on the other hand, I don't want to play on blurry, rubbish graphics, so it's the balance. So we shall see. But it was a couple of pounds, so if it's no good, what the heck. My final device is what I've been looking for, a capture card in a price ratio that's not cheap and nasty, but not too expensive, because I'm not a rich man. But I wanted one that would do the job, so that I get 1080p 60 frames per second. When I'm streaming, I've got a nice setup that is good enough, so I don't have to go and buy a new card next year. This will do me for a few years. So this one is, it's got the loop out, which was important, so I can plug it into the console and my laptop. It's got its own mic input, which may be useful if I'm sitting on the sofa playing. It's got an earphone output, sorry. It's got USB 3, which is important for the correct picture and frames per second. Comes in a nice box. It tries to at least appear like quality. It's aluminium. It's all metal, so it helps to dissipate the heat, and it gives it a more premium. It's a mirabox or mirabox. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'll show you. And I tested it. I did a Twitch stream the other night, just a test. I didn't do any proper streaming where I was entertaining anybody. I just did it for a test. And it had on Suikoden 4, I believe, and it looked beautiful, sounds beautiful. I was speaking and testing it. I got my partner in the other room with Twitch on the phone app, and listening. It all was good. So basically, I'm in business, and it comes with a lovely, or at least lovely in my opinion, braided USB 3 cable. I love braided cables, so I'm in business with a bit of luck. Yep, so that's good news. Yes, and if you can please remember on every Wednesday I do playthroughs, and my retrospectives will be returned in the near future. I've also got other videos, like I say, like my Retro Freak dedicated video. I've got other ideas. I'm thinking about a few crazy videos where I do it in one of my characters and my panel of experts from my retrospectives. I might dress up and just do a whole video in character, because I feel like being crazy. I'm being too serious, you know. Yep, and of course, if you do enjoy my content and you want to support me, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, comment, share the video, tell people about it, so you know, so we can keep on growing, and I can do more content. Which is my Twitch was that. Starting my Twitch was the next chapter in more content. Is there anything else? I think that will do for this week, because I think I've been talking for quite a while. So thank you very much. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care. I appreciate everything you've all done, and I'll speak to you soon. This is Retrobeard signing out.